Oh, for some odd reason that didn't work.
Yo.
Yo, we are live!
Nice.
Oh my gosh, my arms, I can't feel them. I am of the tired.
Of the very tired.
Of the very, 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 very tired. For some
Fair
odd
enough.
reason. Oh, there we go. I was just making sure that it was picking up the the ting, picking up the ting, the audio, the audio. That's what I was trying to figure out. Let's make sure that. There we go. Oh man, I'm alive. I'm good. I am tip top freaking shape. There is nothing wrong at all.
Ready to be here for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. So, I am going to work on this possum sona. This is actually the first time I have ever drawn a possum sona before. I have never actually drawn a possum sona. So this is
Is always a time for firsts.
yeah, this is going to be something. Let's see what happens. All right. So small. Let's just do that. And more of a grayish fur tone, wearing a sweater or a hoodie with pants. Okay, cool. Alright. Momo, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. I'm not dead tired. I don't know what you're talking about.
And let's see. Oh yeah, it might be. I forgot to clear out the other one from the list.
I
So
am
that was-
so alive and so not tired. I'm just hoping that I'm not relapsing with the clinical, or what is it called? Yes, they are in the center console of my vehicle.
There you go. List is fixed.
I would like food, yes. Thank you. Sorry, I was being asked if I would partake in the foods, and by all means, I need the foods.
I ate earlier before this, so I didn't have to get up too much. So it's just easier to keep track of things.
Yeah. And Momo, I am alive. I'm just hoping that it's not my chronic exhaustion kicking back in like last time, because I really cannot afford to be out a day or two, because I have to go to a con for work. And if
Which is why I'm here.
yeah, and if I am basically if I am incapacitated like last time, I am basically up shit's creek without a paddle, because hear me out, because of life, and nobody else would be able to go to the con and work it for the comic book shop. So yay.
That's why I'm going to be the personal the extending tool before exhaustion kicks in.
See,
So that it helps you actually be able to do the work you need to do, because we need to catch up.
I am a little bit behind on commissions because exhaustion has already kind of settled in, and I am just trying my darndest to keep up.
And this is going to be the one time I actually say this for a stream. You may actually have to ignore tour stuff to just be consistent for a bit, because it might be the thing that saves you.
We'll see what happens.
I know that's a rough one, but that might be your best call.
We shall see, because I have made a very good living of faking it till I'm making it. And
Oh, trust me, I completely understand it.
and my what's it called? My Good golly, I can't remember what it's called. It's something. It is a something, and it shall not be diminished. Yes. I have no clue on what it was. Get up here. No. No, 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 no. My my body does not react properly to freaking energy drinks. Not in the slightest. It is actually quite terrible. I've had very, very bad experiences. Basically, my little old heart can't really keep up with it, and also it's just not a fun time. And most of them, actually, because of how my body is composed, will actually work the opposite. It would make me even more tired. Because I thought, oh yeah, I have to drive really far one day. And I was like, you know what? I'm super exhausted. Maybe I should go and get myself a 5-hour energy. Maybe that will help. And
Mistakes were made.
oh, it did not work. It did not
He
work.
didn't know, chat. It's a shame he didn't know.
I did not know. It was, oh golly, it was horrid.
It sounds horrid.
Because it actually made me more sleepy and more tired, and I was just like, this is great. I don't want to be able to drive. No. Who would ever want to be able to drive while they're going down the highway at 75 mile an hour? No, maybe I just want to rest my eyes a little. And yeah, that did not work. That was a horrible time. But you know what? It could have been worse. It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
So, for me looking back over my list for my docket, you have this and one other thing, I believe.
Yes. And then whenever it comes to my commissions, I have an animation commission. I have a 4-person commission, and then I also have a PNG tuber commission. I have, there's one other I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting something. I know I'm forgetting something. I gotta go and double check. And the animatic.
Yep. Yeah. You have the animatic, and then I think involving me, you only have one. It's just flat one.
Yeah.
Earn the PNG thing for here.
There is a good chunk of them. And, oh, you have to get your art supplies out of storage. Understandable. Let's just say I really need to get my lead out of storage, aka my ass out of storage. Because my brain is going, maybe we shall store this for winter. And I'm just like, buddy boy, we're not going to store this for winter. We need to work. And it's just like, how's about no? How's about you just go and chill? How's about you just go and fall asleep?
Your secretary is telling you otherwise, no matter how this plays out.
Exactly. And I'm just like, I need to.
Because if I wasn't here, you probably would fall asleep. If I wasn't here, you'd probably fall asleep on yourself a bit.
Oh, trust me, I would be blaring music in the background, not on my normal headphones, because the only reason why I wear headphones on my computer is if I am chatting with somebody. Normally, I would have other headphones, because I've had a couple different things that I do, and I will actually put on alarms randomly too, just to be on the safe side. And normally, if I'm playing Disturbed loud enough, I do not fall asleep.
Yes, loud enough.
Oh yeah, and it's quite hilarious. And also, the other thing is, I have my family that is here that also happenstance comes in randomly and throws random shit at me. So even if I wanted to fall asleep, I would be sitting here just chilling, minding my own business, and then I'll have a fucking shoe fly through my office and smack me in the back of the chair. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I turn around and freaking Mary's standing there and being like, I decided to be a gremlin.
I heard my name.
Yeah? Yeah, you heard your name.
What are you saying about me?
Saying that you're a fucking gremlin.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you. But it is always amazing to have another person on stream to keep my brain going.
Yeah, split the dividends of it.
By all means. By all means. And you know what? I kind of want to do a fun pattern, which is going to be kind of like the baggy black and white stripe. Maybe a gray and white stripe, or gray and black, to kind of go with the vibe of a possum. Going possum way. Oh, golly. I
just realized, other than the two I have, with the last thing on that set that involves me, it's honestly that and the animatic are probably going to take the most out of you.
Oh, well, I have the animatic. I have another animation that is possibly in the works. I also have the SpongeBob Reanimate.
Yeah, that's true. You do still have that.
Oof, there is a...
Did you get your scene? Did you get your scene for what that was supposed to be?
Yes.
Curious.
I actually did get my scene. It looks like it's going to be a fun one. I can say on live stream that it is going to be when Patrick and SpongeBob are fighting the Plankton robot, and like the Plankton robot first comes up, and Patrick goes, "I just remembered, I don't work for Mr. Krabs," and literally runs off.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. But it was a very fun scene.
Also, I just had a realization.
Of
how you spelt it. There is only one N and an I for the abbreviated. It's Danielle. That's how it's spelled.
Oh.
Yeah, I just realized it. I just
well, actually, I wonder if I can change that.
If you can't, and that's what you call me, it does not bother me one bit. I just think it's funny.
My half awake stupor of going, oh yes. This makes sense, and then my brain afterwards is just like, yeah, we're just gonna shut off for about 5 seconds, and you know what? That's fine. I've been just absolutely rough, but I am hoping that I can kind of well, no, I'm not gonna actually be able to relax at all today. I might take like about, I would say at least, I'll probably take like a 20-minute break or here or there, so that I literally don't go insane.
But we could talk
during
those to keep the dividends.
Yeah. But also, I forgot tonight I'm gonna have to move a ton of shelves. That's fine. It's fine.
We'll push through this.
Yeah.
As a team, we push through.
It just takes time. Time is fine.
In theory, even if you don't get up before the con, at least after you have all this done, and then you just leave your animational stuff towards or your other heavy stuff towards near point. In theory, if you did this and just kind of worked around the shelves as you went, you probably could optimize both pretty well.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many ways that can be.
Can I get Chili's and a bacon burger? Thank you.
You getting Wendy's?
Oh no, Chili's.
But I said if you would have said Wendy's, you better get a Frosty with that.
You know what the bad part is? I used to love Frosties. I don't know what happened, but Frosties just kind of became lackluster after, like, what was it? My high school years. I don't know what they did.
Also, this one didn't have a background. It's just shaded.
Yeah. Alright, so there's that. Pants wise, I have
Is
to.
it bad I have Dragon Force in the background?
There you go. Now that's a fucking band right there. Now
I mean like older Dragon Force before their vocalist got tired.
Oh yeah. Now it'd been more funny if you were just like, is it bad that I'm playing Dragon Force Through the Fire and the Flames on Guitar Hero while not looking?
Homie, I can't do that. I'll talk to people about that.
Medium.
That song itself is just, that is just spam hell. I can't even play that on a keyboard. That's a nightmare of a mistake.
Oh yeah, I've actually watched. I think it was The Dew. I think that's what his name is.
What do you like on your burger?
Lettuce,
That sounds
tomato,
familiar, yeah.
and basically the one thing that he was doing was going through Omegle. Oh, good golly. My English is great.
It's trying. It's trying. I can tell it's trying, but
Well, let me just try a different language. Hola, ¿cómo está mi amigas and amigos and all the fucking, I don't even know. I'm done.
Yeah, you tried.
You know what? Shut up, Mary!
Oh, you can say that correctly.
Yes, that's a natural reaction. That's why I can say it correctly. But, let me start trying to do a little bit of German. Ich. That's all I know. Ich. Something. I don't know. I could try Russian. Vladimir Putin.
I don't think it's gonna help you either, Chief.
What about Japanese? Nani?
No, that'll just keep you awake if you just keep going.
I believe in your English. Dish flick. Or dish fick.
I saw this pic.
I saw Dick Flick, and I'm just like, what, did you all find my porno? Back whenever I was a porn star.
We're not reliving this thing.
My name back then was Chocolate Thunder.
Oh,
Actually,
so every time someone says that, the first thing I think of is that live-action Dr. Cat in the Hat movie.
oh my gosh, yes. You know the funny part is there was actually a really good time that I completely made one of my managers believe that I was actually a porn star.
You have
And
told
a
me
stripper.
about this.
That was probably my crowning achievement in life. I can write only curse words in German.
I think 3 streams ago you told me about this.
Yes.
I was curious.
The other one was whenever I made people believe that I had kids.
Yeah.
I am a
Yeah,
horrible person. Like, straight up horrible. I have done many, many, many things. Some things that I'm not completely proud of, others that I'm actually quite proud of, and I take solace in it. But, ooh, you know what'd be really kind of cute? I wonder about tail piercing.
That actually would be kind of neat. Also, I had a realization about that formal outfit, especially with the glove concept from your other character. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Oh, are you talking about the commission robot?
Yeah.
I don't even think I ever gave him a name.
I had a very interesting idea with the gloves because I did want to make them to where they had partial LED with the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Make them have something in the middle to more so. You ever see like more like robotic designs now, or some of the stuff I've shown you where if you just pop it up or snap, it'll just automatically have a little screen keeping up with things, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
To where she just keeps up with it that way, kind of just like a phone.
Yeah.
So it actually because of how the design worked from what I've seen, it's the same thing. So that means it's more of a homage to that kind of idea.
Gotcha.
I think that'd be good.
That would be fun. Remember to send it to me in a message so I don't forget, because...
Oh, don't worry. I'll get that texted now. Don't worry.
Sweet. And also the funny part is whenever it comes to, like, different languages and curse words, a lot of the words I know in Spanish are curse words that I learned on the soccer field. And it was quite funny because I would be called a lot of those while on the soccer field. And I would always turn around and just, like, stare at the person in the eye, and I'd be like, I know exactly what you're saying. And they're like, what? And I go, soy hablo español. And they always look at me and they go, fuck. And I'm like, your jersey number is, like, say if it was, I think it was 8, I would always be like, so your jersey number is, or I would look at them and go, Ocho. I remember that. And then I walk away, and they would just be like, I actually had one kid that was just like, take me off the field, coach, take me off the field. Because I was a defender, and I was not a nice defender. I was a very, very mean defender whenever it came to if people irked me. So I was like, would you look at that? You done pissed me off. Let's see what happens. And, oh good gosh, there was one kid that elbow dropped me in the back of the head while I was running with the ball. And the ref, I got up and I looked at the ref, I was like, ref? And he goes, play on. I was like, okay. Normally I'm very calm and collected. And this one, I was not calm and collected. So the kid was running, and I know in soccer that the way that you will not get a yellow card or a red card, what's up, Acto? I know that whenever it comes to soccer, if you hit the ball first, or if you have the possession of the ball first, technically speaking, you don't get a yellow or red card unless you punch somebody in the freaking face. So this kid was sprinting at me full force. I remembered his jersey's number, and he was trying to get past me. So immediately, I stepped on the ball while he was at full sprint. I dropped my shoulder and flipped him over me. He actually did a front flip and landed right on his... No, I can't remember if it was a front flip or back flip, but he landed right on his back. And he was gasping for air after that. And I stood straight up, calmly passed, like I took, I think it was like a couple steps, and then I passed the ball to my other, I think it was my midfielder. And it was so funny, the ref, it was a different ref, because the other ref went to the other side of the field, and the other ref looked at me and goes, play on. And it was so funny because I walked up to the ref afterwards, and I was like, hey man, I'm sorry, what I did was probably kind of mean, but that kid had it coming. And he was like, oh no, do you remember me? And I looked at him for a second, I was like, wait, you're the same ref from a couple tournaments ago that I played with. And he's like, dude, I've watched you play, and I know that the only reason why you would ever do that is if the kid got you before and did you dirty. And I was just like, you ain't wrong. And he's like, so I had a feeling that he did you dirty. So I was like, you're good. And I was like, nice. But there is one thing that I remember in soccer that I was a hardcore dick about. We were going against this team. We were way high up. I think we almost mercy rolled them. And it was the last game of my senior year, and I wanted a goal. So I told my coach, hey, put me as a forward. I want to see if I can get a goal. And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll make sure that you'll be able to go and do that. And he left me in defense. So basically, I was just like, if you're gonna do this to me, I'm gonna run up the field and I'm gonna score a goal from defense. I don't care. So I started getting very irritated. And I know that the parents, I felt, normally parents at soccer games, they're like, ref, you didn't call that, blah, 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 ref, are you blind? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't know the whole entire rules of the game. Shut up. But this time, I was like, you know what? You guys I understand you. Because there was 2 instances in this game. Instance number 1, I was going down the field. And there was this little midfielder. He was probably about half my height. And I bet you money he was a freshman. And I yelled, move. Because I was just barreling down. And the kid stood in my way. He didn't even brace himself. And I was like, you know what? I told him to move. He didn't listen. I passed the ball. Like, I kicked the ball just at the... No, I didn't meg him. I tapped it around him, and I just plowed right through the kid. And I could hear all of the parents going, ref! And I was like, I understand if I get a yellow card right now. I told the kid to move. He didn't move. I feel bad, but I want a goal right now. And the ref said play on. I was like, damn, ref, you mean. So the next one, this kid, I tapped the ball too far in front of me. And this was a big ass boy, like a big ass boy. And I was just like, I tapped it a little bit too far in front of me, and I noticed that it landed at his feet. And I think he was a forward. And I was just like, fuck. This, you know what? There's barely any time left. I am going to body check this kid, and I'm probably going to be knocked off. I don't care. I'm done. So I actually kind of hopped up in the air a little bit and slammed. Oh my gosh. I was almost at full sprint and slammed so hard into this kid. He just dropped like a sack of potatoes. I landed and my feet were at the ball. So technically speaking, because my foot was on the ball, it wasn't a complete foul. But I was like, dude, I'm gonna get like yellow card or red card. This is one of the last games of the season. I am done. My coach is not letting me go and get a goal. He's not putting me as a forward. This is dick move. I'm kind of done. And the ref said play on. I actually kind of stopped a little. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I passed the ball down the lane. And I could hear all the parents just getting super mad. And I walked over to the kid and I tried to help him up. I was like, dude, I am so sorry. And he's just like gasping for air. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like a dick. But the funny part
You did want it though.
Yeah, I was so done with it. I was done with that day. But I remember when I was a kid and a lot of people were like, hey, whenever you're in high school, there's going to be kids that are going to want to fight you, everything like that. Fights break out all the time, because fights did break out all the time. But the funny part is, I don't like to fight. That's the last resort. So normally I would talk things out. I only had, one kid wanted to fight me, apparently. And he was like, yeah, meet me in the locker room, we'll fight. And I looked at him and was like, no, why would I go to the locker room and fight you? There's no reason. And he's like, yeah, I knew that you were a pussy. And I was like, I don't care. I'm sorry. And apparently I went to the locker room a little bit later because I actually had PE to go to. And one of my friends from freaking soccer, he was wailing on the kid that was wanting to fight me. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck are y'all doing? And he's just like, dude, he wanted to fight you. He called you a pussy. But you know what? I got your back. And I was like, the fuck you mean you got my back? I didn't want to fight him in the first place. There was no reason to fight him. He was just wanting to, he had something to prove in his ass. And I didn't want to fight him. Because I had anger issues that I was trying to get through. And I was like, if I start fighting you, my anger issues might take over, and I might break your arms, and I don't want to break your arms. I don't want to go to juvie today. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this shit. And the guy was just like, he was wailing on him. I was like, damn. I told him to stop. I was like, what the fuck? And there was another kid. I don't even know what the fuck was this kid's deal. So, I have always been very paranoid. I'm a very paranoid person. And my anxiety is heavy whenever it comes to paranoia. So much so that I used to pay attention to literally every little thing that was around me. So whenever I was walking down the hallway, I would be looking for reflective surfaces so I could tell who's behind me. And all that fun jazz. Honestly, I'm surprised. Well, that actually makes sense why everybody thought I was a drug dealer. Was because... or I was always on drugs because I was just sitting there looking around. But I just sat there and I was talking to one of my friends at the time. And I noticed this kid kept on looking at my legs behind me because I could see him through the window of the...
it's this story.
Yeah, see this motherfucker from the reflection off the trophy case. And I'm like, what the fuck is this kid doing? He keeps on looking at my legs. It's kind of weird. And apparently he throws a kick. With me, I was just like, I reached down and I grabbed his leg before it hit me. And I had his leg and I looked at him and I was like, can I help you? And all he fucking does is look me dead in the eye. And I let go of his leg and he goes, nice. And just walks off. And my friend was like, the fuck was that? I was like, I guess I was initiated and apparently I passed. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I was so confused. And I never saw that kid again.
Why do I hear boss music trying to engage? Oh wait, the boss got bugged out. It's okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on.
You're not supposed to. That's part of the chaos. That's part of the magic.
Oh, but there's so many other things. I still think that one of my personal favorite times was so I've had people ask me whenever it comes to
Sending it now.
perfect. Whenever it comes to racism and stuff like that, it's like, oh, you probably didn't have to deal with it because you grew up in white suburbia. And I was like, yes, I had to. But my personal favorite one will always have to be whenever I was in African American studies and I was the only black kid in there. I was the only, and every time, and the teacher was, he was the coolest teacher of all time. He had a big old white afro, and he was whiter than the pages of a book. But oh my gosh, it was fucking hilarious, because anytime he would say something about African American history, he would actually glance my way to see if I approved. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, the fuck? Why are you looking at me? I don't fucking know. I'm in this class to learn. It was, oh my gosh, it was just absolutely priceless. But, yeah, basically he was like Bob Ross. But, another one that, it was whenever we were in the class, and he said, alright, so we're going to be reading, like, Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, all these different classics, and here's the deal. If there's anybody in here that does not approve of anyone saying the N-word, speak now. And everybody turned to me. Everybody looked at me when it was said. And I looked around, I was like, the fuck? What the fuck? This is for educational purposes. I am not going to kill you all because of that.
Keep going, you're good.
And, okay, perfect. And the funniest thing is I was wondering why everybody was looking at me like that, because apparently earlier, I didn't hear about it until around lunchtime, that we had one of the kids that was black, but he was just a little bit darker than I was. A little bit darker. And the thing was that there was one kid that everybody knew was fucking racist as hell. Just an absolute asshole. And if I remember right, what the story I was told was that he walked in and just straight up called him the N-word. Just waltzed right into the class and immediately said it to him. And this boy, he stood up, fucking Superman punched him so hard in the face that it knocked the kid out instantly, dropped him like a sack of potatoes. He stood straight up afterwards, looked at the teacher, and he goes, I know, principal's office, and started walking to the principal's office. And the kid was rocked so hard. Well, he got OSS if I remember right. But the kid got rocked so fucking hard. I think he was out for at least a good couple, like, I think a couple minutes. And I'm like, hot damn. I didn't know about it until I went to lunch and somebody told me. They're like, oh shit, did you hear what happened in blah blah blah's class? I was like, what happened in blah blah blah's class? And they told me, I was like, oh shit, that motherfucker got rocked. And it was, oh my gosh, it was so funny. But yeah. Back where I was originally born and raised, we had like maybe only 200 people in the whole entire town, roughly. So the thing was that I didn't even know what racism was, because everybody was chill with everybody, and nobody really gave a fuck. So it was great. And actually, I didn't even know I was different from other kids until I had a kid walk up to me in, I think it was like kindergarten or preschool. And he looked me dead in the eye. And he holds up this brown crayon and goes, why are you this color? I looked at that kid. I looked at him. I looked at the crayon. I looked at the kid. I looked at the crayon. I grabbed the crayon. I looked at the crayon, looked at my skin, looked at the crayon, looked at the kid, and apparently, the teacher said I started bawling. Because I never knew I was different. And whenever my parents came to pick me up, I was bawling, and oh my gosh, the teacher was like, hey, just letting you know, this is what happened. And it was so fucking hilarious, because I bet you money my parents were like, are you fucking kidding me? I thought my kid got decked. No, he's just like, and whenever I saw my parents, I was still holding the crayon. I was like, Mom, Dad, why am I this color? And it was so funny. Oh my gosh. And I just, oh, my parents just looked at me and they're like, I did not think that we would have to fucking tell our kid now. Has he not ever looked into a fucking mirror? And I'm just like crying up a storm, and I'm like, what? I'm there. Why am I this color? And they had to explain to me that I was different from other kids, but I wasn't different, and it was so, oh, I feel bad for my parents. Basically, I know that whenever I have kids, when they come out the womb, I'll be like, bitch, you're black. And
I'm gonna be honest, it's so hot. It's already so hot. Me dying like that actually gave me a headache.
Valid.
I have a headache now.
But I'm actually going to be an asshole of a dad, because I love doing social experiments on people. And I know that I'm probably going to be doing a lot of social experiments on my kids, just for funsies. And I know that one of them is totally going to be that I'm going to learn Spanish completely. And for the first 3 or 4 years of my life, I'm only going to speak to them in Spanish. And welcome to America. Auntie Mama will pummel it. Valid. But I am going to speak nothing but Spanish to them until they go to preschool or they go to kindergarten. And then when they go there, they're going to be speaking Spanish, or they're going to be speaking Spanish / English, because my wife's going to be only speaking English. And then, fucking then, when they come home from the first day of school, I'm going to switch right back to English and only speak in English. And they're going to be like, Dad, weren't you speaking Spanish before? And I'm like, I don't know how to speak Spanish. It's going to fucking rock them, because they're going to be like, Dad, I thought you were Hispanic. I'll be like, nah, bitch, I'm black.
I'm gonna just say this.
What
Do you
up?
just like doing it with everyone, or are there exclusions to this rule?
Oh, it's only whenever I'm around my kids.
Okay, good. No, I mean even before that. If before you have kids, you just like doing social experiments with
Oh, hell yeah.
close friends.
I used to
I
do
don't
that all
think
throughout
you
high
have
school.
I don't think I actually had to deal with it yet.
Nope, not yet. I kind of stopped a little bit during college, because a lot of them, it started messing with people to, like, one of the social experiments that I kind of did was the I had kids just to see how many people would believe that I actually had kids. And I would see how far I could take it to see how much of social interaction they've had with me that they would go with the preface of this person will not lie to me. And to see how far I could take it. And then after that, I realized, maybe my experiments that I do on people aren't the nicest whenever it comes to these. So you know what? Maybe I won't boldface lie that I have kids and that I'm in a legal custody battle for my kids with my ex-lover or slash wife or girlfriend or whatever at that time, and basically state to them that yeah, she has been on drugs and that's the reason why I've been trying to get my kids. And apparently it hit a little bit too close to home to some, so I was like, probably shouldn't do that. So I'm more along the lines of I feel out before I can do social experiments, but I haven't had time to write down my observations or also even start doing more social experiments because I am now a digital artist that has barely fucking time to even go and take a shit, let alone write down all my findings and everything like that.
A digital artist that has someone working for them, I mate.
Exactly. And that is the fun part. But I do still go through and psychologically analyze a lot of people, and the one thing that people hate the most that I do is finish their sentences before they can say it. I used to be so good at it. Yeah, I used to be so good at it that it would literally drive my teachers insane because they would be sitting there and it would be a topic and my brain would automatically go through all the possibilities that they were going to say, and sometimes I would finish it like the whole entire sentence before they could. Yeah, I used to be a Joseph Joestar. It was they hated me, and it was so much fun. What's up?
Did you have to analyze me before you actually got closer with me? Because again, if you actually did do that during that time, again, I've known you for 6 years, so I probably would have to.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I psychoanalyze almost anybody that I meet more than 3 or 4 times.
How did that fare?
Oh well, whenever it came to that, it was basically because of how I go about everything. I put out a thesis of what I expect the person to be like, and you met up with that thesis pretty spot on.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because a lot of people will
consistent even now.
Yeah, still. And the fun part is that whenever it comes to most people, you have yes, Momo, you too. But whenever it comes to most people, there are different things that you'll watch in people that are very similar to other people that you've been across and everything like that. The reason why I've actually guessed exactly what people would do in different situations based upon my observations of those people. And the fun part is, unfortunately, I've fallen off of it a little bit. So I haven't been doing it as much, so I'm very rusty, so I'm probably worse at it. But basically what would go on is that I would take the person and be like, okay, so this is how they act. This is in each different situation. And sometimes I would throw different situations at them to see how they would respond or react. And based on that study, I would go and be like, okay, so I can safely assume that if this happened, they would probably be doing something similar to this. And I will say that, yes, there's a ton of trial and error, and there's a lot of times where I'm completely and utterly wrong. But there is a good chunk of times where I have been quite right, and surprisingly so, that the person, whenever they were like, did it surprise you? I was like, I don't want to lie and say yes, but I know if I lie and say yes, it will make you feel better. But also at the same time, no, it did not. And also, I'm not in the mood to, in the market to lie to just make somebody feel better. Because that is more along the lines of manipulating the situation.
I have caught you off a few times, though.
Hmm?
I think I have caught you off a few times, though.
Oh, yeah. I've been very much out of practice, and one of my favorite things has always been psychology. I absolutely adore psychology, and I love studying people's minds and behaviors, and also beliefs, because it is quite hilarious to see somebody state their beliefs, and immediately they will do things against their beliefs.
And
And
it become a hypocritical statement of itself.
well, the funny part is some people don't even see it as being a hypocrite. Actually, a lot of people will even exclude themselves from their own ruling because they state that
That's just
this
biased.
yes, and it is quite hilarious. Or my personal favorite one that I've always loved will always be the self. I'm going to be selfless, when in actuality, it's physically
There's
impossible.
always, it's physically impossible to do it, but in reality, you're always wanting something. For some, it's more positive than others.
Oh, of course. It is more along the lines of somebody will come up and be like, well, I went out and fed the hungry. And it's like, someone's like, aw, you're so selfless. And I'm like, no, you're not. And they will always be like, excuse me? I'm like, yes, you are not selfish. I mean, selfless. You're selfish. And they will always go, excuse me, explain to me how I'm selfish. I go, okay, well, why did you feed the homeless? And they're like, well, I don't like seeing people be hungry. I'm like, okay, because the act of somebody being hungry causes you discomfort. The only natural reaction is to make sure that your body, I mean, you don't like being uncomfortable, so you go out of your way to make sure that people are fed so that you don't have to be uncomfortable.
Oh,
And they always go, well, when you put it like that, and I'm like, yeah.
what my mom said, yeah, no, I hate that too.
Yep. And also, whenever it comes down to it, I mean, I've had a lot of people that would be like, oh, because I grew up in the church. I had so many people that will sit there and go, oh, you can't get into heaven through good works alone, but I'm gonna go and do all these good works because I'm bringing glory to God. And I'm like, well, technically speaking, no. It does say in the Bible that you get crowns or crowns for different achievements and stuff like that in certain iterations of the Bible, all that fun stuff. But technically speaking, at the very end, then it's like, oh, we lay our crowns at God's feet and all that fun jazz. So technically speaking, you're still working to make yourself look good or anything like that.
So no matter what happens,
Yes.
it's still selfish.
Yes, and basically it's like, oh, I get so many of these crowns. I want to be the person that has the most crowns to lay at someone's feet. And it's quite hilarious because people are just like, no, I do it because Jesus told me to do it. And I go, well, because of your wanting to not disappoint, because if you disappoint, then you're going to cause yourself to, well, basically discomfort. And thusly, whenever it comes to your discomfort, you make sure that you don't want to be, uncomfortable, or you don't want the consciousness of, oh, I didn't do a good deed today. So you go out of your way to do a good deed so that you can quell this small voice inside of your head stating that you have to do something. And because of that, that is the reason why you did it, and you are not truly in the definition of selfless.
And then we loop back to where we started, because they usually tend to argue
Exactly.
it for a longer.
So it is kind of like a paradox of, can one truly be selfless? And it's like, well, no, because there is a reason why you do something, and that reason could be 100 different things. Hey, what up, fam? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, well, we're talking about the paradox whenever it comes to if somebody is wanting to be truly selfless. That is absolutely impossible to be truly selfless, because you are literally doing something to make yourself feel better. Or if something is irritating you, or it's like, I really don't like the idea of homelessness. People should have homes, so I want to go and give everybody homes. Well, you're doing it because you don't like the thought of homelessness. So thusly, you are... Yeah. In a situation, you know? Oh yeah, it's kind of like it's very strange, and it's because I got onto this whole entire shindig whenever I was younger because somebody was like, well, you just have to be selfless. Just like this person. I'm like, they're not selfless. They're doing it because they want to do this or they want to look good. There's no way to do it without doing that. And after that, I fell down the rabbit hole of all that fun jazz. But I love conundrums and stuff like that.
It's an interesting concept, especially when you realize, especially even like because we talked about this before. Situations like me is very interesting, but at least with that, it's always persistently positive.
Mhm.
Yes, it's still selfish, but there's some cases where it's always persistently positive, so much so it kind of becomes where the paradox resets.
Yeah, and technically speaking, is that you can always have good motives or good intentions, and the
But
intentions.
you'll still want something from it.
Yes, no matter what, people do things in order to receive something. If it's not gratification, it is monetary value. It is for your own personal feelings to feel good, and because everybody chases that dopamine rush that they get when they do something nice or do something kind.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like one of those. Oh, it is actually just like the Bad Guys. If you watch that movie, rushing.
I still need to.
Oh my gosh, it's so fucking good. It is so fucking good.
I hadn't had any time. I've been majorly keeping up with your stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, whenever it comes to it, I got it on iTunes. It is totally worth a watch. Because it actually dives into that concept of somebody chasing a new high, and they're becoming kind because they're chasing the high of being kind. Because it releases a dopamine in your system, the feel-good chemical, because you're doing something good, and thusly, it is literally your brain is getting you high on this drug that you're going to be addicted to.
You want to know something I do like about what I have heard from the movie, especially from people drawing it?
What?
The misadventures of just, hey, you see Lupin the Third over there? Yeah? Let's have fun with it.
Basically, took a page out of Lupin the Third and was like, hey, you can look at my answer. I mean, you can look at my homework, but please don't copy it word for word. And it's like, excuse me?
I mean, they did, but at least it's with animals, so they copied it enough.
Yes. And honestly, the animation alone in that movie was absolutely gorgeous.
Especially for the cop lady, I have seen bits of that. It just gives me Zenyatta vibes all the way through.
Oh yeah, and the bad part is, she is a very well done character. Because you would think, oh, it's gonna be a one-trick pony. She's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go and have to catch. She actually has character development of it's just like, I caught you. I literally made my whole life centered around catching you. And it's just like, oh yeah, the fight scene.
That's why I'm just saying, it's basically just then he got it from that, because again, his character kept changing, but the thing is, it was more dynamic change with the actual cast as the parts got on.
Yep, it was a very, very fun movie.
That's what happens when you have an Interpol police officer chasing the same man for over 30 years.
Oh,
and
true.
still not being able to catch him.
True.
Once.
Oh, burger. Thank God.
That's what you wanted, right?
Yes,
made it.
I
Tell them I
love
said hi.
burgers.
Okay.
Tell him I said hi.
Oh, Danny says hi to everyone.
Who?
Danny, also Nietzsche.
Oh, hello.
Abby says hi
Yeah,
back.
fair. Yeah, it's okay. I just got caught up by the O. Just the realization.
Yes.
Ah, they don't know, that's fair.
Huh, where's my...
That gave me a laugh.
The second one.
Hello.
My wife says hello.
Tell her again, said hi back. And this.
She says hi back.
What was that? Did I just hear a yay?
Yes, it was a yay. Oh, also Momo
Okay.
says hi too. I'm waiting for Grandma
Yeah.
Selena to hop on sometime. But yeah, whenever it comes to all the fun psychological stuff, it is a blast, and I absolutely love psychology because I think the biggest thing is human belief is the thing that really fascinates me. Because, one second. I got French fry. Super hungry. But,
I have a question for you after this, but I'll wait till you're finished.
okay. Whenever it comes to human belief, because no matter what, people run off of beliefs. People have to run off of beliefs and hope, and if they do not have one or the other, they will not be able to survive. And it's quite fascinating. But go for it. What was the question?
I was going to tell you about the thing I sent to you as well because I had an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna edit this for that particular idea that I'm setting up that I have to wait on.
Okay.
What if the dress also had some functionality with the colors? Like it's RGB style, so it actually does have some.
That would be fun.
So it actually would give off the full robotic vibe without it actually being full
robotic
itself. Yeah. So it gives off the same tone, but again, is its own entity entirely.
Valid. That would actually be really cool.
That means his whole character concept eventually transferred over to my persona entirely when it comes to working for you, and that means it actually would be, again, remembered through that concept.
Valid. That would actually work really well.
That means he can actually live on properly through someone taking his place, doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And I feel like that'd actually be a wholesome way of fully going at it, which is why I was excited for this. Plus, that also means the fashion ideas with it can actually be really interesting on a formal level.
Oh yeah. I think that's a really great idea.
I will add that as well.
Sweet.
Actually, also I think for at least the original design, it'd be a long, not like full dress gown, but at least long enough to where it does it, where you can it's just hovering enough to where the colors can still flow properly, but not always hit the floor.
Okay.
So it gives us the right, again, that I want the design to pop off so it feels like, again, it's fully remembered right.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a plan.
Also, that means you can actually practice doing RGB type of flowing between it turning proper colors.
Oh yeah.
Which is the other reason why I thought this could work very well, because a lot of the stuff I'm considering for this concept would actually make you practice it more, which would save you so much trouble having to learn it later.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a program that I really want to learn too, because I need to learn Toon Boom, but there's another one that I got, which is Spine. I think that's what it's called. Let's see. Yeah, it's Spine. And it's basically the same animation software that they kind of used for Rayman and also Shantae, and I really want to learn it because
it's really consistent with smoothing out like the animations properly being smooth.
Oh yeah.
So this wouldn't be a too bad idea to do in general.
True. And Momo, that's a great idea. I say yes. But
oh, my thing hasn't reset.
Oh no.
Yet.
Momo sent me a personal message.
Ah.
But my brain just reset. What was it?
To what I was talking about?
No. I don't know. Huh.
Because the last thing I was talking about was that, and you were gonna say something towards it. Because that's the last thing I remember.
I cannot gather what I was
know you're talking
saying.
about Spine. You're talking about Spine.
Spine.
The animation software you're trying to learn. So you can actually.
I guess it was just that I want to learn it. Oh, because I wanted to make some video game stuff. For fun.
Yeah.
Oh. But.
Hey, we figured it out. It took a second.
Oh yeah. But what was it? There was something else. Oh yeah. I was going on the topic of human belief because it is absolutely ridiculous.
Also, this is coming out pretty good.
Why, thank you. Give me one second. I'm going to quickly devour my burger while talking about human beliefs. Because it is...
That gives us a break, so it works.
Oh, yeah. So basically, whenever it comes to human beliefs, it's quite fascinating because no matter what, humans believe in something. Or human believes that there is absolutely nothing. But regardless, the human mind has to put its belief or hope into something. And that could be that there's absolutely nothing in the universe. There could be that there's aliens in the universe. Stuff like that. And humans have been doing this ever since the dawn of time. Mainly because you can tell by all the different random gods that were established or other things that people established, like little idols. Which is absolutely fascinating. Because why would humans need something to believe in? Why would humans need something to actually be sitting there and going, huh, this is a higher deity that I have to be talking to, or I had to be accountable for with my actions and stuff. It is such a natural, innate thing. It's quite fascinating to try to figure that out. Because if you take somebody and literally subject them to absolute hopelessness, where they don't have hope at all, they'll just die. Just straight up gone. And it's... Or they'll also have their brain basically die. And that's how you become a basic living zombie, or whatever you want to call it. And it's quite fascinating because you have to really think about it. Why do humans always want to believe that there's something else out there? Or the different things of why do humans always think that there has to be something more? Or my personal favorite, some people cannot grasp the idea of death. Yes. And whenever it comes to it, religious beliefs have actually also done great good and also great evil whenever it comes to how it has affected the whole entire stasis of humanity, or the whole entire being of humanity, which is quite... Yeah, do not kill, make more babies, etc., etc., which the make more babies is actually innately driven on humans, is to continue. It is a primal instinct. And whenever it comes to do not kill others, it's so that the human population can grow. But the downside is that humans will actually go and kill other humans for things that did not seem like it was even necessary for. Which is highly fascinating. Why would anybody would consider or think that taking somebody's life, another human, when we're wanting to continue this whole entire endeavor of humanity, or basically keep our species going, murdering another part of our species would be okay, but then we have to also look towards different animals, pack animals, and everything like that. I mean, it's normally to prove your dominance over that creature or the other being in your species, aka you have lions who will kill all other cubs if, say, one of the other males went in and had cubs. They'll kill all the other cubs besides their own cubs. Or meerkats do the same thing. And it is so that the strongest will survive, theoretically speaking. Well, that is what we can observe in the animal kingdom. Now, let's go into the phrase of, are humans different than animals and stuff like that? And then that's where you get into the whole entire debacle of, no, humans are not animals, or we are all living organisms, period. Testicles! Exactly! Welcome to my boring live stream where I'm eating a burger while drawing a possum girl and talking about beliefs and human beliefs and stuff like that, and how it's quite fascinating and absurd at the same exact time.
I exist.
And Danny is here.
I exist.
Well, it's quite fascinating because humans will always divvy it up to having a higher being or anything like that, or they will actually put blame or cast blame onto a higher being. Oh, I got lettuce, tomatoes, bacon, cheese, and French fries. Best way to have a burger. Inquiring minds would like to know.
Hmm.
But it's so hilarious because humans will actually put on or be like, "Oh, why did you do this? I cannot believe you did something so horrible." And it's just like, "Oh, I didn't do it. So and so made me do it." And I'm just like, "Excuse
You
me."
still did it.
Yep. But also, going into that, we have now discovered that there are split personality disorders and everything like that. There are so many different things whenever it comes to the human mind that we never could grasp before. And different types of mental health and mental disorders. And because we haven't even thoroughly scratched the surface of it at all, there is a huge possibility that they truly believed that a higher being sent them to kill someone, or sent them to do something that seemed to be obscene, or go against the grain, go against the normality of all other humans, or what we assume that everybody has come together to agree upon. And that's like, do not kill, don't go and punch babies in the face, and stuff like that. Yeah. Quite fascinating, because now we are knowing more about mental health, that it could be that it very well could be like, oh, we all come to the conclusion of 2 + 2 = 4. That person could be going, well, killing is alright in certain cases. Because, generally speaking, we have done as a society that killing is right in tons of different cases. And babies do have punchable faces sometimes. Especially when they look like little aliens that sit there and go, "Rrr." Yeah, I mean, they're kind of weird. I hate when people come up to me and go, "Oh my gosh, isn't my baby cute?" And then I always have to be like, well, actually, whenever it comes to cuteness, I mean, that is a personal depiction of it. I mean, there's nothing that qualifies this baby as cute, because cute to you can be cute to you, and cute to me can be completely cute to me. Like, I think that jumping spiders are absolutely adorable, even though that some people will think that they are absolutely disgusting. And then by that time, they are very angry with me and they walk off, and I won't have to tell them that their baby is butt ugly. So it's a great defense mechanism. I think the reason why I'm so tired is because I haven't really had much to eat today.
Become a wake-up call for you.
Dude, straight up, smelling a burger woke me the fuck up. It's like a wake-up call to my senses, and I'm actually being able to comprehend the English language again. And it's so funny because people will be like, well, shouldn't you already know the English language? It's your first language, right? My first language was muttering random words that did not make a lick of sense, but they made sense to me. And burgers are so fucking good too. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, also the other day, me and Mary were talking about how the possibility of actually being a true vegan is, technically speaking, impossible whenever it comes to farms and stuff, that you would actually have to destroy more land. Also, you would have to put different chemicals on it to kill bugs. So technically speaking, you're going to be killing bugs and also pushing animals out of land, which is aka killing them, and also doing deforestation, all that fun stuff. But it is quite fascinating. But yes, I will also agree that whenever it comes to the animal situation of being bred to die, I mean, we made hunting and gathering more efficient. And is it ethical? Depends on how you look at it. But I will always state that burgers are fucking delicious. And also, I'm an absolutely horrible person, so everybody's horrible in their own unique way.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that you're horrible, then you're fucking lying to yourself. Well, not lying.
Not lying, but at least avoiding it.
Avoiding it, or you're not a truther.
Everyone has issues. That's just how we as people is just common.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't, there's no such thing as a difference.
And
Other than
yeah,
partial traits, and that's it.
the one thing
And
that
that's not fun.
yeah, the one thing that I really believe and I really make sure that I don't want to do is force my belief upon others. Because I feel like that is the most inconsiderate thing that you can possibly do to somebody. Because if you want to force your own beliefs onto somebody, you are not taking into consideration that their beliefs are valid as well, to them at least. So thusly, I mean, you can sit there and say the sky is blue, and somebody comes up and is like, well, the sky's orange. And you're like, well, you're fucking you're fucking stupid. You can't really say that. I caught myself.
I
Caught
heard
myself.
that.
I caught myself.
That was just funny. I just immediately heard it. I like how you caught.
Yeah, but the funny part is you can't, technically speaking, say that because of different types of color blindness. To them, their eyes and the cones in their eyes could actually be picking up more orange than actually blue. So, thusly, in their defense, it's quite possible. But you can't see through their exact eyes. And it goes into that whole entire fun stuff. But the main reason why I learned that at a younger age was because, oh good gosh, that is hilarious. But it is quite funny because I will state that I was raised in the church. I was a Southern Baptist, and thusly, yes, I still believe in Christianity and everything like that. But the way that I believe in Christianity is completely different from a lot of other people, and I don't want to force my ideals on other people because it is very inconsiderate. If they want to believe what they want to believe, go for it. I don't care. It is your life. And it was so funny because in high school, I had one girl that told me that I was the only Christian that they could stand to be around. And I was like, well, it's because I don't give a shit of how you live your life. It's your life. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I put myself to this. I'm not going to hold you to do the same thing I do because that's fucking stupid. And also, oh, have you ever heard of the, what was it? That dihydrogen monoxide actually kills more people and it's actually one of the highest killers in the world, especially whenever it comes to children. And the chemical is actually spread upon most food that we actually go through and consume. And also, basically, it's a chemical that we put on everything. And in high enough dosage, it will kill you.
Yeah. It's like radiation in bananas, and after you eat enough of them, it will kill you. But again,
yeah, and
the radiation won't kill you. The bananas will. It's like 40,000.
And this was a whole entire thing that was going on, and it actually almost hit news. But the funny part is, yeah, and if you stop taking it, you will die. Dihydrogen monoxide, if you know chemistry, di, which means 2 hydrogen atoms, and mono, which means 1 oxygen atom, which also can be called H2O, which is, in fact, water. And it's quite funny because whenever somebody stated that dihydrogen monoxide is a leading cause of death in small infants, and also it's a chemical that we spread on our food that if you have too much, it can actually kill you, which is not a lie. That so many people got up in arms demanding to not put dihydrogen monoxide onto our crops or onto our food, which is water. And it was quite hilarious because the science community had a blast with it. They were laughing up a storm, but it shows how quickly something can spread, that because not everybody is informed that dihydrogen monoxide is H2O, it's just stated in a different form, that everybody just goes and freaks out about it. Yes, I'm talking about dihydrogen monoxide. What about it? Say hi to everybody on the stream, Mary. Clacking your chopsticks does not also entail you saying hi. Is that Panda House?
Yes.
I didn't even.
You
I
have
didn't
the
even
option.
hear.
Abby asked you Chili's or Panda House.
I wanted a burger!
Okay, well then don't.
But that's what he said.
You want some?
Mm-hmm.
You want some?
Oh, I'm good.
Hello
Also-
everyone.
also-
Corey's brat.
I didn't even hear the clicking.
Okay, Pasta, what? I couldn't hear.
I said I didn't even hear the clicking.
Yeah, I could tell that she was clicking them together. I just could not hear it because I have headphones on.
Yeah, that's fair.
See ya, Momo. Sounds like a plan. It does sound very scary. Dihydrogen monoxide. The main thing is that, or my personal favorite chemistry joke is somebody's like, "Oh, I would like to." Two chemists walked into a restaurant and they both sat down to order. The first chemist was like, well, the waiter comes up and asks, "Hey, what would you like to drink?" And the first chemist goes, "Well, I would like to have H2O." And the other chemist, thinking that it was quite clever, was like, "I would like to have H2O too." Saying two. And one chemist survived, the other chemist died from their drink because, dihydrogen dioxide, or also known as, what was it? I can't remember the actual different name of it, but it is actually poisonous to humans and can kill humans. And because they said H2O and then added 2, aka TOO, they thought that they were saying 2, as in putting 2 oxygen atoms together, and yeah. Context. Y'all didn't think that this artist was actually a fucking nerd whenever it came to different sciences, now did ya? I'm full of surprises.
I know you went to college, but you never said for what.
Oh,
So I thought part of.
I was a studio art major with computer art emphasis, but also studied whenever it came to programming, sciences, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
More along the lines of I get bored very easily, and whenever it comes to me being bored, I will study different things. And actually, one of my favorite things to watch while drawing is Coffee House Crimes. I love the criminal psyche. It is quite fascinating because the deal is whenever it comes to life, the only thing that's stopping you in life is your brain. Because whenever you sit there and think, man, I really wish I could get myself this. Technically speaking, you can achieve that. You can go and get it. But through legal means, you, at that time, could probably not. So thusly, you would have to commit a crime. And your brain's like, well, then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And we immediately cut that off, being like, well, that's not possible. Yes. And whenever it comes down to it, theoretically speaking, you can do anything you want. The only thing that's stopping you is the consequences. And if you don't think about the consequences, or if you acknowledge the consequences and say, fuck it, you can do whatever you want. And it's dumb, but also it makes a lot of sense. But throwing caution to the wind like that, or basically, there is what was it? I think I read that there was like a theory that the criminal mind actually has inhibitors, or the inhibitors that basically constitute of like, understanding the consequences of stuff. Yeah, those don't exist, or something like that, or some shit like that. That they don't fire in a criminal's mind. I think sometimes they do, but it's the ability to turn them off. If you ever watch the interview with the Iceman, the most notorious hitman for the mafia, it is absolutely fascinating. And if you watch his body language, it is even more fascinating. He was very well known for... There was one time where... during the interview, he was like... said that he was going home for Christmas. And while going home, there was people that were drunk that cut him off. So he drove around them, stopped at a stop sign, got out of his car, shot all 3 of them dead, got back in his car, and calmly went home and had Christmas with his family like nothing actually happened. And the thing was because he couldn't remember. Well, he couldn't remember. He was just like looking back on it, he was like, oh yeah, I didn't really even give a shit. It's like, you ended 3 people's lives at that particular time, and you went and proceeded to go home to your family to have Christmas as if nothing happened. it is quite fascinating how they could cut off the part in their brain that states, oh, murdering people is probably not a good idea. Very morbid, but hey, it's very fascinating.
Your food. You enjoy your food.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying my food. But
Good.
you all didn't think that this live stream was going this way, now did you?
I mean, it's interesting, but I only expect interesting from you. That's what keeps me and your friendship fresh, because we're both on the interesting half of whatever can happen will happen.
Exactly. Also that is also known as what was his name? Because there's also the theory of what is it? Abby.
Yes.
The theory that if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. What is that called?
Murphy's quantum law is what
Murphy!
you're thinking of.
Murphy's Law, yeah.
Thank you, Danny.
Murphy's law.
Mhm.
This
Is
is
there-
what Google is for.
Yep, and also the fun part is that that's actually a TV show too.
No, I've seen the TV show. The TV show is pretty good.
But, and that's the same thing that, technically speaking, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. But also in the same breath is that anything fascinating that can go, it will go. Because you cannot doubt that, yeah, Weird Al, yep. But whenever it comes to the immense possibilities of all things, it is infinitely possible for all different things to happen. But the thing is that our human brains like to be able to guess what's going to happen, and when we can't guess what's going to happen, it actually infuriates us, makes us angry. If you want to have a fun experiment, look up dissonance. The sound of dissonance actually can infuriate or anger people because our brains cannot predict what the next sound is going to be. It's quite funny. Because, if you think about it this way, humans will always sit there and try to predict what's going to happen next. And if you predict it correctly, then yay, you get a little bit of serotonin, or dopamine, basically. But
Unless it's funny, then you get more than that.
exactly. And whenever it comes to things that don't actually happen how you expect it to happen, it can actually bring you great discomfort and irritation. And it makes sense. Because if you pay $50 for a good game and you get a shit game, of course you're going to be mad. You paid $50, you were expecting something good. Or if you slipped on a banana peel and you started floating instead of falling, then you'd be very concerned. It would basically break your brain. You would be sitting there, it's like, this is not what's supposed to happen. Punch a person in the face, and they give you a hug? That's not supposed to happen. That's weird. That's why if somebody's trying to fight you, and you literally strip down to your underwear, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to fight you. Because they were not expecting that.
Yeah, they just kind of give up.
Oh, I would hate that. I would fucking hate that. No, you can actually buy a annoying thing that is, I think it's like $15 on Amazon. Stash in your friend's house, and it will randomly play a beep, and it will go for about 3 years, and it's about the size of, like, smaller than the palm of your hand, if I remember right. No, I think it's smaller than most people's thumbs. And it is so funny because it will beep periodically. Or you can adjust it to beep like every few minutes or stuff like that. Drive your friends mad because they cannot find it.
That's a fucking fancy commercial.
So I think it's absolutely hilarious. Alright. That spider French fry. Mmm. That was good.
So,
Oh, I needed that.
Also, what did you say was after this on the docket?
After this one,
Yeah.
I have the fox one to do.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's crap. My brain just shut off for a second. Oh, I need to do the characters. I need to do the PNG tuber thing.
Yeah.
The emote, and there's about
Because I was thinking while my brain was on it, since we're going to be talking for a bit anyway, we could get the sketch design of things done.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the original part of the first frame.
Oh, are you talking about tonight, or are you talking about on my to-do list for all my commissions?
Just in general, yeah. Just for tonight.
Oh, for tonight, in probably about... I'll be able to get the inking done before then. Probably, because it's starting to get dark outside. I am probably going to be cutting off at 8:45, go and move a ton of shelving, so that we can get all the stuff that we've been needing to get accomplished, because we finally got the shelving stuff ready to go. And then from there, we're going to be moving stuff from the garage downstairs, and then stuff from the downstairs up to the garage, basically switching out all the workout equipment and cosplay stuff, just switching them back and forth. And then from there, it's probably going to be closer to about 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I will probably work on a little bit of art, probably on my iPad, because I'm going to be sitting down in bed, and then probably fall asleep while drawing again.
That is mainly why I brought up. I realized if you actually want to sketch on anything that involves me while I'm here, so you have input, or you're just going to go off the flow as per usual.
I might go with the flow on this one, and I will be probably sending the sketches like I normally do. Oof,
Got it.
Foot just fell asleep. That's great.
That's what the only reason why I brought it up, just in case you actually wanted my input on the particular thing.
Oh yeah.
You have a safe one, Octo.
See ya. Stay safe, Octa. But, what was I gonna say? No, I forgot what I was gonna say. Great.
Because I was saying, like I was saying before, it would be better to. That's why I'm just saying. Usually, when I'm around, you usually tend to work on it in bits with other things. So it's why I just help with the structuring.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case input was needed.
Gotcha. Well, if I do that, then I will probably finish this inking later.
Yeah, and it wouldn't take, especially since it's just mainly the tail for the inking. I can tell it probably wouldn't take you that long.
Alrighty. Now let's take a look.
When it comes to the stuff I've been getting, you're consistent on a good basis when it comes to the time.
Okay, let's see. Where did I put? So now I have the reference around here somewhere. Where did I put it though? Not collab. Where was it? OCs. Maybe it was in here. I swear it was. Did I put under commission?
Which one are you looking for?
Oh, the robot.
It probably would be
found
in
it.
OCs, because yeah, I'm about to say.
There's that. Slap that right there. And also open that. Well, actually, I can just there we go. And then I can put that right there. Excuse me, right there. Thank you. Put that there. There's that. There's that. Okay. And I'm on Sketch. Cool. So that and something more formal. Okay, there we go. Address. It's kind of like more like a lab. If I remember right, the reason why I designed his like that. It was kind of like a lab coat almost.
The concept I was going for is kind of more like a cybernetic style when it comes to formality, like dress, like maid style thinking. That's why I'm going for something a little more simple on the dress design. Because it looked like it was going for more of a formality either in sciences or just more of a butlerish thing when you look at it for how simple the shoulders are. Because usually lab coats are usually pretty much just a straight line with how most of them are usually are, because they're usually decently like straight on the shoulders. And anything more like a suit usually has more curves, you know?
And you're saying more like a cyber look, correct?
Yeah, a little bit with at least some lines going down for more of the RGB type coloring, so it actually can flow.
Grabbing some different inspiration stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but there's parts of it that I like.
I kind of like that, and it has a bottom, like a more skirt to it.
This is closer to the thing that I was imagining. And let's see. What else is there? Okay. Cyber dresses are very, very, very disappointing whenever it comes to Google searches. I thought that was gonna be a lot better. But, oh well.
I mean, the first one, if you do like a more dressed down after it, probably would work pretty good. It'd be smoothed out. Because again, with the curves itself, it'd have some lining with that, and the bottom half would cover up for, again, it being more so dressish than being a skirt on its own. My brain is, with this heat, my brain is trying to microwave itself.
Valid. Freaking valid.
But the timer won't go off, so I'm just sitting here until it beeps.
Exactly. Oh wait, that's what I was thinking.
What I was thinking as well for, like I said, for the bottom half, you know how with some particular dresses there's like lines that go like intersecting on all even points? So it's just lined a little bit over and then lined like that. Have it flowing like that so it looks like it's coming from just the top half in general. And just flowing down.
My brain actually checked out for a second. What?
I was saying, with how it would be curved, it would be like, if you're looking from the front angle, it would be like two lines going downward, doing a little like flowing with the color changing type deal. Okay. So more so of a water flowing downward instead of trying to go up, like it's powering something. So kind of looking like it's trying to release itself. Just do what it needs to do, just flow.
Okay.
I think that's interesting.
Let's see what I get. Because I also want... There we go. And... let's see. I have a small idea. Let's see what this will do. Going down like that. Also do cutouts right there. And this one won't have as much cut out because it's turned. A little more cut out there. And the thumb would be like that. Clipboard. Clipboard and toe. There's that.
I'm already digging this. I also wanted to make sure that we had the thing down so you didn't have to worry about it later. So everything else would be more to your usual flow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just realized we're already halfway through the month,
Yep.
and a lot of stuff is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 16th.
What's coming out tomorrow?
I know a game I've been interested in called Neon White's coming out.
Oh,
I've always-
yeah.
The one that's mostly just speed running, and it's more card-based stuff with as your weapons would be used. You can discard them and have different movement abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about just comprehension of surrounding and just being consistent with your timing, which I like. I like games that keep your reflexes in a good place.
By all means, by all means. I had a feeling on that one, especially whenever it comes to all the rhythm-based games.
Yep. But it's an FPS, so when it comes to that, I'm a little bit more off. Because there's more to keep track of to a degree.
Oh, I love FPSs.
They're good just side break from anything else. They keep the mind distracted from what they need to.
Exactly. Real-time strategies are really fun, too.
I haven't... You ever play StarCraft? Or at least either one or two?
I haven't had a chance.
They're really good, plus the people that worked on those, since they had to move out of Blizzard, is making another one.
Hmm.
And it's mostly the same team from the other two games, and those games are well known for being very good RTSs.
True story.
I need to get back into just playing indies again. I love indie games when I get time, because it's so interesting to see what people's perspective on lives come from when it comes to their narratives.
True.
We've been getting a lot of interesting narrative type indie games lately, and I'm very glad that art form has not died.
True story.
Unless you're at Macmillan, then you never die out because you keep making games that confuse everyone.
Which games has he made again?
The Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy,
yep.
and Disney.
It's that one.
He's that guy, aka roguelike that kick your teeth in, platformers that kick your teeth in, stuff like that.
Freaking valid. One that I remember the most is what was it? I can put.
You
know what?
You'll get it. It's okay.
My brain decided to go. Oh, that's weird. I guess Streamlabs OBS just randomly refreshed my stream. That's peculiar.
Also, I'm also gonna just scroll to see if there's anything else I've missed. Because I feel like there's something else I've missed. What has he made on his own? Super Meat Boy, yeah, that's right. Spewer, I forget about Spewer.
Spewer, I freaking love Spewer. That was one of my favorites.
Isaac's expansion, Wrath of the Lamb. The basement collection of all his old Flash stuff. Rebirth for Isaac, then Afterbirth, and Afterbirth Plus, and Disney. The card game. Four Souls is fun. That is a good Isaac card game. It just takes a while. The Legend of Bumbo, which is just, hey, you like the Match 4 puzzle games with RPG elements? That's Bumbo.
Valid.
And then Repentance, which is the last expansion for Isaac. Unreleased games. I forgot about Gish 2. I just forget about Gish in general. Looking back at his back catalog and a lot of the other Newgrounds people that have survived the older days, Tom Fulp surprises me. Anytime I actually hear about him. It's nice to even see him, he's still just staying consistently relevant, because Tom Fulp is interesting for what he does. Especially since he did Battle Block Theodore? Yes. I speak in it. I have an impediment. Don't mind me. I sound like Homestar Runner for a fucking seconds there. Jesus.
Good
What?
gosh, I have not seen Homestar
That'll-
Runner in forever.
Battle Block Theater, Pit People, and Castle Crashers. And Alien Hobbit. All him. And then Tom Pope also did Pico, so that's usually well known by most people. That was him. The fact that Newgrounds is again still kicking after being made in like 1999 is still impressive.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
still,
where a
like,
lot of people are
that's
still getting
20
their big starts.
It's 23 years. That's terrifying that it survived this long. And it's, again, still community supported. It's great. You love to see that. You love to see a website that's pure community support. Because not a lot of those exist.
Not anymore. Let's see. Something else I'm doing this one. What was that?
Again, I already love how this is going.
Good golly. Ugh.
Boy, tired.
Yep. Always tired. That's my secret. I'm always exhausted. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. There was something I was looking for and I can't find it. But I'll wing it. I'll wing it. That's fine. I'll wing it.
What are you trying to wing out?
Oh. Coming up with different ideas and stuff like that.
Ah.
There we go. That'll work. That should work. Put that like that. That like that. Alright. Come on, get it off the screen. There we go. Alright. There we go. 20 frames per second.
Honestly, if you're even going for something simple with the screens, they also, again, animational wise, they can have a partial float to them.
There we go. I got a small idea. Let's see what happens.
If you know what I mean.
Oh, that was on the wrong. I can't believe it.
Oh, different. It put it on the wrong layer, didn't it?
No, it put it on the wrong file. There we go.
Did it?
No.
Weird.
I got it. Well, mainly because I was moving this file over here. I tapped it on accident.
Ah, might be.
Happens.
I had a thought
There we
thinking
go.
about it.
What's up?
Especially with how simple it would be, especially for if you put it on a different layer. The screens themselves can have a partial hover.
A partial what?
Like hover, like think about it. They actually would move a little bit up and down when they're not being used. So if she's only focusing on one, they just have partial hover to the others. Kind of like they're more so following, because they're just built around her.
It's possible. It's just
That's
making
what-
in between frames and stuff like that, and just making sure that
Would be
it
terrible.
goes
Yeah.
more along the lines of an object. Make sure that they will actually have what's the word, keyframes, and I just have to make it
Yeah,
active of keyframes whenever it comes to that. So, in retrospect, yeah, it would be not too terribly hard.
It wouldn't be too hard, but it would take time. I know at least that.
Just making sure that they go on the right way in doing that, which is never always easy, but also at the same time making sure that they float up and down, making sure that it'll be able to do a cycle. That's the hardest part, is making sure that things can be able to do a cycle. And also I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Oh, okay, I can probably do that. That would work.
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that should potentially... Well, I keep on saying it should potentially work, but the thing is I won't be able to know if the idea that I'm having. And I don't know if it will exactly work, per se. It should work in theory, but in practice... Oh, it's just how to make it actually do an RGB, like, cascade down. The only downside is that I do not think that it'll be able to loop well. I would have to actually make sure that it lands on a certain one to be able to be looped, but making sure that that's even possible. Because the biggest downside of that would be making sure that it is an object, making sure that it's keyframes, and making it so that the keyframes will actually work properly, but then I would have to make sure that if I do a overlay, not an overlay, I could probably do a clipping mask to it, but the downside is that I would have to make sure that the color spectrum thing would be actually repeating so that it'll be able to loop correctly without making it look really janky, if that makes sense.
The last time I had to do something looping like that, at least to be consistent, that's a frame-by-frame deal sometimes.
And frame by frame, I mean...
That's that's because of... For how I did it, is just see it once, do a double frame, and repeat.
Yeah, because technically speaking, if you do frame by frame animation on that, it could work, but also there has to be a better way, an easier way, mainly because doing that would take so fucking long.
That would be a nightmare to do. Trust me, I fully understand that. Even pixel art style variations of that suck.
Yeah, so theoretically, if I do it like that, technically speaking, that should work.
Honestly, when it comes to anything else, I say go with what you think works, and I'll adapt with that, because you already know I go. Whatever works for you is fine with me.
Let's see how that works. It should work properly.
You know I always try to give proper concepting when it comes to that, so it's not as complicated for you.
Valid. Okay, can I just minimize that? Why are you there? There we go, finally.
And at least with the other the other layers as well, since they're already there. Honestly, if you did like inch by inch style things, of just doing it bit to bit, you probably would pretty much get this done on a proper pace.
Mm-hmm. And I'm getting an extension for your desk. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I do it that way, that could work.
I really gave you a brain teaser, didn't I?
Not too desperately. Because theoretically, if the workaround that I'm thinking of actually works, this will make it a lot easier and make it so that it's very simplistic. The only downside is in theory, it should work properly.
Good work. Also, side note, I still appreciate you doing this for me, especially since actually I haven't asked for anything in a good long while, so this just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, actually, I remember when we were talking about it, you wanted to do this for backup. Again, I've already pushed a good amount over, and you wanted to just do this to show appreciation for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Since money has already been hard enough to be able to transfer because of how my position is, because of SSI stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because once you start making money on the side, then you have to, especially when it comes to PayPal, then you have to do all the
tax crap. And Yeah, and that's $500 tax, and that's just a thing I can't do. So
Yeah.
honestly, this, especially even with these, I'm still always a. You already know I'm very grateful. The fact I can do this for you still makes me happy. So I'm just
Mhm.
grateful when this stuff comes around because I know you got me on that kind of level, and I appreciate that. More importantly, I'm just glad I can actually work for someone. This has been a really good experience to have.
Oh yeah.
That and it feels nice to be able to work for a friend and just enjoy it.
Exactly. Alright, let's see how this is going
Yeah.
to go about. Because if I do it the way that I'm thinking, theoretically this will work quite well. In theory, unfortunately.
It all comes down to practicality,
Yes.
and we both know that one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually gonna have to hop off real soon so I can go and get those things because it's almost dark.
Yeah, no, you do what you need to do. I say, especially since you have something going after you get off, at least put a pin in this and just continue from here. The possums, at least almost to inking, getting that done, getting it to ink stages, I can send that over, and then you can work on this a bit to try to get the flow right. Then coloring and shading with it would, or coloring in general would be too hard
Mm-hmm.
because again, it would already be consistent because of the movement.
Valid.
So you do what you need to do. I hope the rest of your night goes well. By the way, this
Why,
has been a
thank
good
you.
stream.
It has been a good stream, and I hope that your night goes well as well. And I hope everybody else's night goes fantastic. I shall see you all on the next run, and I hope you all have a great day.